How are you doing today? I hope you've all been keeping well. It's been pretty overcast here in Drogheda. It's one of those days that we thought we were going to be getting loads of sun. Actually, this week we thought we were going to get loads of sun, but it hasn't happened. Such is life. We're not going to complain about it. We live in Ireland. We're well used to what the weather is like here. Completely and utterly untrustworthy. So what's been happening? I suppose thank you to everyone who came along to our Parenting in a Pandemic free talk last Thursday. It was a great response. A lot of people participated well. A lot of people joined in, and a lot of people signed up to our course, our free mini course that people are saying that they're really enjoying, which is great. So if any of you guys who are listening today, if you have signed up and are giving the mini course a go, please do let me know how you're getting on, because as amazing as I think it is, I'm always open to constructive feedback. So if you think there are things that could be changed or altered, or bits and pieces that maybe are missing, let me know and I will absolutely give them consideration and see if I can squeeze them in. If you haven't signed up for the Parenting in a Pandemic mini course, you still can. We're going to leave it open for who knows, maybe we'll leave it open forevermore. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, please do go and sign up. What have you got to lose? And I guarantee you, even if you are not a parent, you will find tools that will help you manage your own mental health. So go sign up, see how you get on. But do let me know, because I'd love to get your feedback. As I say, I'm open to changing things if it needs to be changed, so let me know. So the talk went well. Got another couple of talks coming up for libraries and stuff like that, and yeah, it's chugging along nicely. Got a couple of questions today which we will delve into. We have our Parenting After Separation and Divorce course this Saturday between 10 and 2 p.m. online, and that's for anyone who may be dealing with separation or divorce, and gives you some skills to use to try and set up a new family structure, because when parents separate, there is a new family structure needed. So you may be in the same house, you may be there with your children still, and everything seems like normal, it's just the other parent isn't around. But children need to know what are the new boundaries, because you may need to introduce different boundaries to what were there, because when there was two of you there, it was much easier to put them in place. So you may need to change things up. And the skills you get are really practical things that you can put into place and set up that new family structure, and also look at managing yourself in relation to your ex-partner. So I do have a number of people coming on the course this weekend who have already said, I don't want my partner on there. I don't want them involved in the same thing as I am, because that's where our relationship is at. We're at that argumentative stage where we just can't even be in the same virtual room together. So if you know anyone who is going through a separation or divorce, I'd highly recommend they come along to this course. Everyone who takes it will come away and say, 1, I feel a sense of relief that I'm not on my own. 2, I've got some things that I can actually do at home. And 3, I can look at how I relate to my ex, because family events are going to happen and you don't have to like each other, but you don't want to be like a friend of mine who at 35 was getting married, and his whole wedding day, all you think about was keeping mum down this end and dad up this end, because if they got together there'd be an explosion, and they'd been divorced for 20 years. Like, none of us want that. So we need to find a way to relate to our ex-partner, because family events are going to happen as our kids get older. So yeah, there's lots of little tips, techniques and tools that you can use, and it's at a reduced rate. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but if you or anyone you know is challenged with a separation or divorce and they're a parent, suggest it. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Been doing a little bit of work this week on my second book, Parenting in My Pocket Volume 2, the Parenting Q&A. Hoping that'll be out sometime maybe summer. It's probably looking like. I was hoping to be out at the start of this year, but the way things have been, it's been really busy. So, but the second one will be coming soon-ish, and yeah, I'm hoping that we can get even throw out the new front cover sooner rather than later. So that's exciting to know that that's in the works. Right, let's get into the questions. So since my son found out that the junior certificate isn't going ahead, he has become really lazy about schoolwork. We've had emails from his teachers saying that he isn't turning in his work and is missing classes. I've tried speaking to him about it, but he just shrugs his shoulders and says he doesn't need to work now as he'll be heading into transition year and won't really need to start worrying about schoolwork until fifth year. What can I do to make him realise his education is still really important and life just isn't about his console? So for those of you tuning in who have never heard of the Junior Certificate, don't know what it is the first significant state exams that we have here in Ireland. So young people will take them between the ages of 14, 15, 16 years of age, and it's in their third year of secondary school. So the whole first, second and third year of secondary school is built towards taking these junior certificate exams. And it's to give young people the experience of what it's like to take the state exams, because 2 to 3 years later they're taking the Leaving Cert exams, which are the exams that you take in order to get into university here or whatever else you go on to do. So with the pandemic, the junior certificate this year has been cancelled. And it was cancelled last year also, and there was predicted grades given to students, and it looks like it's probably going to be something similar here. So a lot of students are relieved that they're not having to go and sit the state exams. A lot of students they've got a heightened anxiety about it as well, because they're kind of going, well, I've studied for 3 whole years, and for what? And what's going to happen now in place? So some schools are now informing their children, their students in third year, that they're going to have to do exams for the summer. And the students are wondering, is this instead of the Junior Cert? So is it going to be based on 3 years worth of work? Is it going to be based on just what we've done in third year? Is it going to be based on what we've done in half of third year? And the third year students are not actually in school at the moment. They won't be going back until the middle of April, which means they'll have approximately 4 weeks before the exams will start. So there's a heightened sense of anxiety around the lack of clarity around what they have coming up. And different schools will have different ways of dealing with that, and some will be really proactive and will explain things really, really well. Others won't. That's just the nature of the education system that we have. And that can be even broken down to some teachers will be really, really conscientious and really explain what's going on to try and ease the stress and strain, and others won't. That's just the way life is. In every line of work, some people are really conscientious and hardworking. Some people aren't as conscientious or clear or hardworking as others. So that's just life. So there are probably a lot of children out there, not children, the young people. There's a lot of young people out there who may be like this lady's son, who've just gone, happy days, I don't need to study. I'm going to go back to becoming the next super esports or Fortnite star and making my millions, because that's what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 18. And for those who aren't going to become, unfortunately, a millionaire Fortnite or esports star before they're 18, switching off from the routine of studying and work for not only between now and the end of third year, but we also have a thing called transition year in between. So it's got like a fourth year. You don't have to do it. So some schools have it as compulsory, other schools don't have it as compulsory. So those ones that have it as not compulsory, young people can go on to straight into fifth year, which is into the senior cycle, and they have fifth and sixth year, right? But I take it your son is actually going into transition year, so maybe his school have it as a compulsory element of the school. So that means he doesn't have, in his head, he doesn't have to start studying again until the start of fifth year. So just over a year and a bit of not studying. And you wouldn't believe the amount of young people I've worked with over the years. Like, I still to this day get them. I was working with one girl today who's going, I'll definitely start working in September because that's the year that I need to start working. So I'm not putting myself under pressure now. I'm minding myself, and I want to focus on my friends and building up my friendship group. So I'll definitely start in September, and without fail, the young people that I work with get to September. Well, I'm doing a little bit more work. I'm definitely going to start after the midterm break in October, because that's when I really need to start to focus on study. So that 100%, that's when I'm going to start to do my work. And then the midterm break comes, and kind of going, yeah, like, we don't really have Christmas assessments, so definitely when I get close to Christmas and over the Christmas holidays, I am absolutely going to study 100%, because we have the mock exams. So there's mock exams in February for the junior certificate and the leaving certificate. So definitely then I'm going to work my ass off in January. Jesus, 100%. And then the mock exams take place, and they go, shit, I should have been working much earlier. And all of a sudden then the anxiety levels go through the roof, because they're going, I have 3 years or 2 years worth of work to catch up on and study in the space of a few months, and they lose it. So I absolutely know that your son is going to be different, and he definitely will study, and I'm sure he'll tell you he's definitely going to study, but the chances are he may not. So, like I've said before, I would look, instead of trying to take stuff away from him, I would certainly sit down and say, you need to earn your console time. If he wants to become an esports star, he needs his console. So once the work is done, and you can decide what level of work that needs to be. So does that need to be sitting and doing all his classes? Does it mean sitting doing all his classes and then doing an hour study, 2 hour study, whatever? I would sit down and say, once you've completed this, whatever you decide, then you can have your console time. If you do extra work, you can have extra console time. So you're being a really understanding parent. So you're given that space, and it's not about you taking stuff away. So he doesn't have it, he doesn't have anything, he needs to earn that time. And look at how you can implement that. So are you working from home? Do you have the ability to check up what he's doing? If you're not working from home, if you are working out of the house, that's going to be more challenging. So you may need to get proof. Whatever way it's going to work, you need to sit down, figure out for yourself and your family, how can I best implement this, and go from there. You cannot convince him that this is really important to him. You just can't. I was working with a guy who is in 6th year and has a leaving certificate coming up, and Monday, he went and said, I get it now. I know I need to do well in this, this and this, because this is the career that I want. And he started working now, which is great. It's better than nothing. But he had to get to the point where he could see the link between him working and getting what he wants. But for your son right now, he clearly wants to become a gamer, professional gamer, right? So all his brain is doing is going, well, what I want is to be a professional gamer. How I get there is by playing my games. and school is just getting in the way. So you're not going to get him, you're not going to convince him that school is the way forward if he's not there. So what you look at is what is important to him right now, which is his game, his console. And how you try and manage that is going, this is important to me for your long term, but it's important to me. So because it's important to me, I'm in control of the electronics in this house because I'm the adult. So you absolutely can have console time. And if you're saying to me you need 4, 5, 6 hours of gaming time a day in order to become this superstar, that's fine. Your base level is 3 hours if that's what you decide. So you do your full school day, you get 3 hours of play, console time. If you do an extra hour of work afterwards, you get 4 hours of game time. If you do an hour and a half, you get 5 hours. Because look how nice you're being, how considerate you're being, how thoughtful you're being. You're giving him an extra half an hour. So if he does his schoolwork, does an extra hour and another half an hour, he gets 5 hours of console time. And that might not be right for you. You might be going, Jesus, Alan, I'm not letting him sit in a console for 5 hours. You need to decide for yourself what's best for you, what you agree with. But what we're talking about is the incentivization. So you're not going to motivate him by getting him to understand school. You're going to motivate him by getting his hands on his console. Give it a go and see. He may need help to figure out how to work out his study plan so that he's not just sitting in a bedroom going, let me just count down the minutes and hours till I get on the console. It may be about saying to him, right, let's break things up. Do it in blocks of 10, 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, and then see how that goes. So there's a piece of work in here for you to do it. But it will be worth it in the long run if you put it in place. But it has to be manageable. You have to make sure that it's manageable. So see how that goes. Please let me know how it goes. And I'll come back to it at a later date, whenever you want. But just let me know how it goes. But you're not taking stuff away, he's earning. And you need to have the incentive of earning extra as opposed to just what he is getting normally. So give that a go and see how you get on. Okay. Hello everyone with all the comments. Hope you're all keeping well. Parenting in a pandemic was really useful. Thank you for offering it. Glad you found it useful, Kathy. Hello everybody. Thank you for saying hello. It's great to see you all. I'll reply to each of you individually afterwards. Okay, question 2. My 7-year-old daughter is really nervous about going back to school next Monday. She has worked relatively well at home schooling, and while she's excited about seeing her friends again, she's been telling us that she has been getting butterflies in her tummy every time she thinks about going back in. We've tried to reassure her that everything will be okay, but last night when my husband was putting her to bed, she got really upset and said she was scared. This really upset both of us. Have you any ideas on how we can make her feel okay about going back on Monday? So, again, for those of you outside of Ireland, certain sections of our school population are going back on Monday. So 5, 6, 7-year-olds are going back, and yeah, that they're going to bring a phased reintroduction of, the 5, 6 and 7-year-olds are back this week, and then is it next week? So maybe this was sent last week. So in 2 weeks time then 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds going back, and I think secondary schools too. I could be wrong, but the reintroduction to school has been a bit kind of up and down, and it hasn't necessarily worked as well for a lot of people. So there's a lot of, say, young people out there with extra educational requirements or needs that have struggled. There are children who have autism who have really struggled because they've been in for a day and out for a day. That doesn't work. They need structure, they need routine, they need to know that what they're doing from day to day. So that's been really challenging for them, and I hope that that's getting sorted sooner rather than later. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. We just have a 7-year-old girl who's just really nervous about going back because she's been out for so long. And sometimes reassurance is one of the most important things. So the fact that you guys are actually reassuring her that everything's going to be okay, it's also important to let her know that it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. That's absolutely fine. It's absolutely normal. It's absolutely natural. I've no doubt there are tons of you guys out there who are working from home for maybe a year and are going, I can't imagine the thoughts of actually going back into the office, and how will it be? Will I be wary of the people that I used to hug every single day? Am I going to be very self-conscious with a mask the whole time? Like, that can be nerve-wracking for you as an adult, and you can rationalise that as an adult. But here we have a child who's just feeling butterflies in her tummy. So, if it's really, really bad, get in touch with me and I will do some logosynthesis with her, which will help to reduce the level of anxiety that she feels. But you may not need that. So reassuring her that everything's okay. It's all right to experience her feelings. It's all right to have those nerves. It's all right to feel scared. That's okay. And you can explore with her. What are the things that are causing you to be nervous? What is it you're nervous about? Are you nervous about seeing your friends? Are you nervous about seeing the teacher? Are you nervous about the work? Like, what are the things that are making you nervous? And she might be able to verbalise it. She might not. She might go, I don't know, I just feel the butterflies. And that's okay. Well, are the butterflies big or small? And get her to draw them. And maybe get her to name them. And so these are your butterflies. And are these happy butterflies? Are they sad butterflies? Are they nervous butterflies? Are they calm butterflies? Can they be calm if they're nervous? Can they be happy if they're sad? And start to get a little picture, an actual physical picture of the butterflies. And talk about, well, what do they need to be okay? What do they need to be calm? What do they need to be settled down? And what that does is it begins to get her thinking that she has the ability to calm those butterflies down and that they're okay. These butterflies are there, they're okay. And then what I would look at doing is, if you're finding that she's getting more and more upset at night, or each night she's crying, is that before she goes into bed or into the bedtime routine, is sit down with her and have a check-in. So how are you feeling about, things now? Are you feeling nervous? Do we need to draw a little picture? Do we need to write in a book? And you need to tell us. Do we need to go have a little run around? Do we need a nice relaxing bath? Is that going to help? Like, what are the things that we can look at doing? Now, you may need to trial and error because she is 7. She may not know what's going to work for her. But you can try all these little things so that she's going to bed a little bit calmer and read her favourite story. Reassure. And then there might be times where she's absolutely fine and she doesn't need to talk about it. That's okay too. So look at reassuring her, which you're doing. Let her know it's okay to feel the feelings that she's feeling, because it's important that she recognises that it is okay to be scared, nervous, upset. Let her know that we all feel that way at times and it's okay. Look at drawing the butterflies in her tummy, naming them, colour them in, make them as colourful as she wants. Then look at the evening. How does the evening work in the house? Does she need downtime? Does she need to be able to kind of start to wind down, have a chat, draw a picture, read a story, create her own story? Like, can she create a story around the girl with the butterflies? Where she can give it a little comic, like a comic strip, and you guys can create that together. Something fun, something to let her feel that she's in control of this, because she is. And then sometimes we just have to let our children experience those feelings and go into school And I guarantee she may be really upset in the morning. You may have someone who says, I'm really sick, I can't go, I don't want to go. They may get sick and you'll have to deal with that. But take them in, let them go. I have no doubt you will not get a phone call from the school saying you need to come pick her up. She's hysterical. The chances are she's going to go in. The teachers know that they're going to be nervous. The teachers might be nervous as well, but the teachers are going to know the kids are going to be nervous. They're going to support them to reintegrate. And I have a huge hope that it won't be too stressful for them. And do you remember when they were little small ones and you take them off to the creche and they might be crying? And then you come to pick them up later on and you've left going, oh my God, my little darling is crying and I've just left them and I'm the worst parent in the world. And then you go pick them up and the creche teacher says, 2 minutes after they walked in the door, they were over in the box playing, having the crack. So don't worry about it. It's going to be exactly the same when they go to school. So I hope you find that useful. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. And yeah, we will see you next week. And then the following week, we won't have a Q&A because it's St. Patrick's Day. And I will be busy celebrating St. Patrick's Day with my family. So we'll see you next week and then we'll have a break the following week. Alright guys, have a lovely week. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other and yourselves. Alright, take care.